Good evening.
Evening, sir.
How are you doing, Carl? All right?
I'm not too bad, my friend. Yourself?
I'm tired. But, however, I'm here manning the ship regardless, because that's just kind of the kind of guy I am. James is here, but sadly, after 4 years, he still has not upgraded his internet and is having internet problems. So hopefully he'll join us. And hopefully, because he's Lie Master this week. So he's going to be on, which he probably hasn't remembered or prepared anything for. So we'll see.
Well, I'm just going to enhance my experience. One moment.
Oh, well done, sir. Well done. Oh, hello.
Oh, we believe we have a Captain Dylan incoming.
We have a bit of James there. Are you receiving over?
Trying to.
I mean, we can hear you. It's just we can't see you. Oh, look.
The voice from beyond. There he is.
Can you now see me, Mr. Ons?
That's not too bad, actually. That's probably as good as we're going to get. How the devil are you, James?
It's a different device using a different broadband connection.
Fair enough.
James has many internet connections at his disposal.
So if you're watching
none
the
of
show,
which work.
if you're watching the show for the first time or you're a regular viewer, please do say hello in the comments. Give us a like head over to our YouTube channel, please, and give that a like and a subscribe as well. It'd be fantastic to have you all aboard. The basic format of the show is we will talk about Star Trek-ish for roughly an hour-ish. But thanks for the positive feedback. We're very excited for our Would I Lie to You feature to be continuing this week. And as James won last week, this week he is the Lie Master. So there we are.
Oh, right. That means I've got to come up with some... Oh, okay. You have to give me some thinking time on that.
We did agree this last week, James.
Yes, and you'll also need to let us by a private messaging know which of us needs to be telling the truth and which of us needs to be telling a fable.
I'm on it now. Talk amongst yourselves.
So please, in the comments, if you could please hit the thumbs up, like button, hit the subscribe button, all that jazz. We really do appreciate it. So this week, I thought, because I like to have a focus every week, so we don't meander too much. And for sort of down Conversation Street, I would like to score a bag of chat from the dealer of debate. And I would like to know who's the best, and slightly difficult here, because also I want the worst Star Trek villain. So, like, who's the naffest villain? Who's the villain that you're like, well, he just didn't really work for me? And who's the best villain? Which honestly, I know this includes film and TV. We'll stay away from the books, but film and TV best. And in the comments, please, I'd love to tell you why you're wrong as well. So, if you could, in the comments, please say your best Star Trek villain and your worst Star Trek villain. So, we'll have a bit of a chew on that. There's obvious ones that come to mind straight away, and then other ones that sorry, we've just had our cues through from our line master.
I'm just wondering which of us he was talking to then, though.
Yeah.
You've not actually said who's saying that.
That's aimed at you, Carl. He's messaging something different.
What?
Sorry. Okay. So James, you didn't hear that. This week we want to know your best.
I did hear it. I was just typing at the same time.
And your worst villain. So there's the very obvious ones. Obviously Q, Khan, Armus, that fake god lady from that really weird episode. Fake devil lady from the real episode. So, there's lots of ones to get our teeth into. So, I mean, we'll start off with Carl if you want to get us going on this.
One of my favourite villains, I think purely because of kind of like the way it culminated. One of my favourite villains is actually Dukat.
You're very wise, Carl. He was my pick.
Not a villain, Carl. He's just misunderstood.
The best ones are
yourself, apparently. The thing I like about Ducat is that right down to the nail in the end for Cisco to win. When sorry, spoilers ahead for anyone who hasn't watched all of DS9. You've had enough time now, including you, James. I believe you're there now, aren't you?
I finished it now. I'll tell you what, though, as you mentioned it, Carl, I'm just halfway through the last episode of Enterprise, which I've never actually seen.
Oh dear! Don't finish it. Do yourself a favour.
Only 18 years after it aired.
But yeah, I think the thing with Ducat is that his arc played every angle it could possibly play, switching between villain friend all the way. And in the end, let's face it, when Cisco rugby tackled him off the edge of the cliff in the Pares cave, there was no guarantee that Cisco was going to come good of that. He literally, it's a bit like the whole Sherlock Holmes Moriarty thing, isn't it? It took him to potentially sacrifice himself to beat that villain.
Yeah. The Riker Mark falls.
I do agree with you. I do love Ducat. I think he had possibly the worst ending of any villain, though. I thought that was naff.
Yeah.
I thought the ending of DS9 was a bit shit. Let's be honest with you. It felt hurried, and they had that long arc with Ducat that never really seemed to go anywhere in the end, did it? But all the way through as the antagonist. I mean, I think Mark Alamo's such a good actor.
Yeah,
I think that's what sells it. He plays the part really well. So he's your best villain.
Yeah, I think he's definitely up there. Like you say, you've got your obvious ones that spring to mind, like you say, Khan. But yeah, I think I really do like Ducat as a villain.
Again, Khan, very misunderstood, I feel. But James, what a lovely jumper, by the way, James. I do. I like the way you're sporting a Dalek on each nipple. Are you wearing jewelry under there we should know about as well?
Just tassels.
Just tassels. James, who's your best villain?
Best villain, I'm going to go with Gulmer Dread because he's so sinister.
Yeah, and we had a lovely chat with David.
Yes, he was great fun. Proper gent.
He had so much time that he gave to us willingly, and he was very humble. Very humble. In fact,
sadly no longer with us.
No longer with us. He was a lovely guy to meet, and Patrick Stewart spoke of him very highly in his memoirs as well, which was nice to include a bit about him. So fantastic. So yes, Gulmer Dread.
He was just obviously being British. He was a really good actor, and therefore really good at being a baddie.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I think he got the part on short notice. I can't remember if someone else cancelled. So he got it. He took the role short notice. So most of his lines were written on the back of scenery because he didn't have time to learn.
Yes, I do recall hearing that. Yes.
So he's always admitted to it. It's like, I took it with 5 minutes. I didn't have time to learn them. It's the only way I was able to do it. So considering he was reading them off the back of scenery, the fact he was literally chewing the scenery was amazing. So it's fantastic. Yeah, he's a Gulmer Dread.
You, Richard, who's your top villain?
I think probably my favourite villain, my favourite baddie, probably is Khan. It's difficult because I want to say Q, but is Q really a villain? It's very difficult, isn't it? I mean, it's hard to place. And also Seska, I think she's quite underrated as well. I quite like Seska as a villain. She, again, very good actress. Pulled it off.
Fred, I can't click on any of the comments for some reason, but there's a good one from Mark Cottam who says studio executives are the worst villains for sure.
Those pencil neck desk jockeys at CBS Studios, eh? At it again. Well, also Mark's.
CBS, if you are watching, we are available to host something for you.
Kywin, and the actress's name is escaping me now. She was the nurse from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Louise, was it Fletcher?
Louise Fletcher, yes. Wonderful actress. Yeah. Yeah, Kai Wynn for the win, definitely. I mean, doesn't Kai Wynn definitely feel like she should be on Loose Women? I don't know. It's just I just get that vibe. Do you know what I mean? This is a women's hour kind of TV program. It's not pornography, so you're aware.
I did see some of that when I used to go to a gym, and it happened to be on while I was on a treadmill, and I just couldn't wait to get off the treadmill.
It's
just because Loose
I've
Women
got to
was
be
on.
honest. I've only seen clips of it. I've never subjected myself to more than a bit here and a bit there. But yeah. And so interesting in the comments here, we've got Christoph has said the worst villains were the Ferengi. So I think again so it's the worst and best. So they're basically you're saying they were naff villains, and they were. So they stopped. It was basically, and again we got this from Patrick Stewart's memoirs that have just come out. The Ferengi were just a massive flop. They were Gene Roddenberry's idea. No one else wanted to do them.
Well, they were supposed to be the replacement for the Klingons originally, weren't they?
And they were just naff.
Weren't they?
But they did such a good job with the prosthetics and making them look amazing that they kept. And yeah, we're all glad that they did. And they became comedy relief rather than proper villains, which is fantastic.
They were introduced, weren't they, as being sort of superior to the Federation in terms of technology. So their Marauder class ship, the thing looks sort of like a half moon with the thing out the front, was meant to be at least equal to the Enterprise D. And then they really dialed back from that and made them just this comedy piece. So they never suggested they were a major power again.
So yes, in terms of them being a naff villain, although we did get, was it the Magnificent Ferengi episode where we had?
Yes.
I mean, it was the guy with the knife.
Just the ultimate assassin.
Yeah, Ferengi assassin. Great. That was the one with that was the episode with Iggy Pop in. It was the Vorta, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, where they went to Empok Nor.
Oh, that reminds me. The my worst villain is definitely I've forgotten his name now, but the Dire Straits guitarist that played the Fish Assassin in The Next Generation. Remember the Fish Assassins?
Weren't assassins? No, were they?
They were assassins. They were fish assassins.
Yeah.
And Roxana managed to uncover
They
them.
pinged on board with the barrel of food that they wanted.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the bomb was hidden in the barrel of fish. Yeah, one of them was the guitarist from Dire Straits. Yeah, seriously. I'm like, where's our resident Googler? Nadim, he's not here today.
Yeah, the King of Jordan, I think it was, appeared in Voyager as a cameo.
Yeah. Yes, my worst Star Trek villain is the guitarist from Dire Straits. That's my worst. The Fish Assassin. My best one. Doesn't Worf go magnificent? He really likes it.
Handsome species.
I'm just sitting there thinking this is like a Bush Tucker trial gone wrong. What's going on here?
Here's an interesting question, though. Wherever Starfleet goes in the galaxy, people look like humans, or broadly like humans, but say like they've got a funny bit on the top of their nose or their forehead.
Yeah,
that's the only difference. But the Klingons don't go anywhere and find anyone who looks remotely like them, or the Romulans don't find green-blooded people with pointy ears anywhere. And of course, what of our friends the Talaxians? No one looks like them. They must feel cheated.
I think the thing is budget. I think you got to remember.
Yeah,
budget.
No one turns up looking like the fish people, or the other ones that look kind of like a sort of cheap lion in the same episode.
Don't forget Armus.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't travel around the galaxy finding blobs of pure evil everywhere, does he?
It's in the comments. We're getting some very sensible answers here. The worst one is Control and Discovery. Yeah, I mean, I can't.
Yeah.
I think you can't. That was just poor writing of the highest order. That was.
What was Control?
I don't think we ever care.
I was so bored. I just...
Yeah, I don't.
Was it a sentient AI?
Yeah, basically.
I still don't care. Yeah.
I've got its signature up on there somewhere.
Control was yeah.
Signal. What? Who played Signal? Control. What?
It was what was it? The guy that was in Section 31 in season 2 of Discovery that got taken over by Control. I can't think what his name was.
Something Strang, was it?
I do vaguely remember because he was.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
The Section 31 chap, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting taken over by Control.
Yeah. I mean, Control was basically like the Mysterons, I think.
The Mysterons, they should come back. They were fun, weren't they?
We've spent about 17 minutes now.
Megan's got it. Megan's got it. There you go. Leland. That was it.
Yeah. 17 minutes now. We've been talking about nothing but Star Trek.
The din will be crossed.
No wonder I feel so tired.
Yeah, so it's about time we played a game. Now, we don't have a sting for our new lying game yet. So what I thought I would do is I would recycle a Let's Talk Trek sting that kind of feels appropriate.
It's fake.
What happened to the sound?
Oh, did the sound not play?
Yeah, I heard it.
I heard it.
I didn't hear any sound.
Did everyone else hear it?
Did anyone else hear my
just me?
Of the Romulan? I've forgotten his name now. Is that doing that?
Senator Vreenak.
That gave me nearly that almost gave me an asthma attack when I recorded that. I'd done it for so long. So I hand you over to this week's quizmaster, James.
Okay, well, this is our game. Would I lie to you? And
it's very similar, but not identical to the one on ITV or Channel 4, whatever it's on.
BBC. Would I not lie to you? There we go. We'll call it that. So the two panelists who are seated above me here. There they go. One of them is going to tell you something which is true. The other is going to tell you a tall tale which is not true at all. But which is which? Now, I'll decide at random who's going to go first. If this spins around Riker side front, Richard will go first, and if it's dark side front, it'll be Carl. Whee! Oh, look, there we go. It's Richard.
So,
Richard, do you have a fact or a fiction for us?
Well, this is completely true. This happened, I want to say 5 years ago now, but I'm not entirely certain. It was the first time that James and I went to a convention together at Birmingham. Well, it might have been the second one. Yes, it was the second one. No, it was the first. No, it was the second. Definitely the second. And James and I, we share a hotel room, and we lead very different lives. I tend to go to bed quite early. I get up quite early, and James comes to bed late and sleeps in until midday. So I tend to get up, and I will hop downstairs and go and get myself breakfast. I'm normally quite early. I like to be early. I mean, when it's all you can eat, breakfast, whatever you want. It's just, well, I like to get down there, and I like a bit of peace and quiet because I find the conventions quite overwhelming. So I was down there, and I can't mention any names, but while I was down at the breakfast table, I was approached by a Star Trek actress who asked if she could join me. And I didn't want to be impolite, so I said, yes, of course, you may sit down. I offered, because I was going to get myself a coffee, I offered to get her a coffee while I was up, and we got talking, and she asked me why I was here, and I said, yeah, for the Star Trek. And she said, oh, well, do you know who I am then? I said, yes, I do know who. And she began to then come up with an elaborate tale as to how she doesn't like to have breakfast with the common folk. down in the breakfast hall, but unfortunately there was a problem with her room. So she asked,
with your room, you say?
A problem with her room, yeah. So she couldn't have. She would normally take breakfast in her room, so she's not hassled by fans. So she said, "Would it be possible for us to take our breakfast up to my room, so we could eat in peace and not be bothered by anyone?" And I sadly had to decline her offer because James was in my room snoring. I since found out this is how this particular actress prefers to pick up men. But she got nothing from me, unfortunately. True story.
That's the only reason, is it, Richard? Just because I was there snoring, is that right?
That's it, yeah. Even if you weren't there snoring, I probably would have said you were there snoring, if I'm honest with you. I wasn't titillated by her.
Okay. Well, there we have one story. Could it be true? Could it be false? Who knows? Let's see if we can gauge that by asking Carl, what's your story?
So in the comments, you've just quickly in the comments, you've got to guess which one of us is telling the truth. If you've got any questions that you think might eke out the truth, please do ask them. Cross-examination, we're open to. And let's hear your bullshit then, Carl.
I shall make a note of the votes as I see them coming in.
That's much better than last week's system. So my tale, shall we say, as opposed to, as Richard calls it, bullshit. So my tale is, you may remember the absolutely excellent Renee Auberginoise that played Constable Odo on DS9, who sadly passed away 2019, I want to say. 2019 sounds about right. So during the first lockdown, once presumably all of his affairs, etc., had all been dealt with and sorted, many things from his private collection and personal items went up for auction. They were initially advertised through a Twitter post from his official account.
Now known as X.
Sorry?
Twitter, you've got to call it X now.
Sorry, no, at the time it was Twitter. I'm being sort of like time frame specific.
I'm trying to catch you out there.
Social media system formerly known as Twitter.
That's the one. So a link was put up saying that there was going to be an auction and many things were going to be charitably auctioned off. And it gave you a link to the specific list on eBay where you could then go and bid for said items. And they were being snapped up left, right, and centre like you wouldn't believe. By the time I got to it, there was actually relatively little left. But I was absolutely determined to grab myself a piece of memorabilia from the man himself. I was really hoping for a bucket, the Odo bucket. Unfortunately, that was long gone. And the only thing I was able to get hold of was the hat stand that he used to have in his study at home, sat in the corner. And not overly sort of like related to the character or anything like that, but just for the pure fact of being able to say, I have the hat stand from Renee's personal study at home. I put in a bid, and I'm not going to include the price, including shipping, because obviously, as you can imagine from the States, something for that sort of dimensions wasn't particularly cheap, but the actual item itself I won on eBay for just short of £30, which I thought was an absolute bargain.
I can just imagine that being shipped air freight.
Yeah. I mean, I did actually win more than one item.
Did you get a hat that went with it?
We've seen that item that you won in the...
You've seen that item many times.
Yes, it's been displayed as a talking point.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, so there we have the two accounts that have been provided. So Richard and his amorous visitor, or Carl and his significant eBay purchase. Vote now and tell us who you think is lying. I want to know who's the liar. That's the easiest way of doing it. Don't tell me he's telling the truth. Just say who's lying. And I'll tally up the votes over the next couple of minutes. And we'll talk about something else in the meantime. I'll keep an eye on the comments.
I've got so many questions about Carl's hat stand.
Now, Christopher said all fairy tales. No, you have to choose one. One of them is telling the truth, Christoph. That's how the game works. One of them is telling the truth. One is not telling the truth. Which is the true story and which is not?
So I've been practicing this Leonardo DiCaprio man.
Now, I mean, Nadim has put, pounds not Barrowman's obviously a lie, but which one?
Well, I would assume from Nadim there, as mine was about a purchase that I made, and Richard's was about someone trying to purchase him. That my valuation is what I was thinking about there.
Richard is lying. Okay, right. Mark's got Carl lying. Okay, we've got 3 votes so far that I can interpret.
Got so many questions about this hat stand.
I'm going to guess that your first one is.
There's a 4th vote.
Where the hell is it?
5th vote.
Here you go. The hat stand is actually behind that door in my storeroom because I've got nowhere else to put it.
No, you can't enlarge on the story now. You can't add to it.
Is it a freestanding floor hat stand or one that you would screw to a wall?
No, it's freestanding.
No, you can't add to the story now. We're in the voting phase. You've made your
4
cases,
feet at the bottom, not 4 feet high. That wouldn't really be much of a hat stand, would it?
Any more votes? Any more votes? Come on. There's at least 2 people watching this.
We've done our best and worst villains, pretty much. We've cut it. We spend a lot of time talking about Star Trek. So I think next week, we'll do.
All right. Well, we've had 6 votes.
Best and worst captains next week.
Oh, okay. Controversial.
Well, we've had 6 votes. Shall we call in the answer?
I think if we're all done, we've got 12 live viewers through Facebook at the moment. I don't know how many we've got on YouTube, but any more for any more. I think everyone's had a vote.
Gary's got it wrong by saying Sir Richard is true. That's not right. I can work it out from that. I asked you specifically to say which of them is lying. Alan,
Alan, have you only just joined us?
You've got to figure out if I'm lying or if Carl is lying. And I know the old joke, yes, if my lips are moving, I'm lying, but
Nadim says Sir Richard is irresistible. Not actually an answer, but
I was going to say, is that a truth or a lie?
Okay, well, I'm going to crystallise the vote there because I've got a clear outcome based on those I've tallied up. So
ladies and gentlemen of the audience, the lines are now closed.
The lines are now closed. If you vote now, your vote may not be counted, but you will still be charged.
Still be charged. Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
Well, Alan's gone for Richard lying.
2 people think that you are lying.
2 people think I'm lying. Who thought I was a liar?
Well, Alan's just added in and said he thinks you're lying as well, which would make 3, which makes no odds anyway, because a total of 5 people think that Carl is lying. So, the public think, Richard, it's true that a Star Trek actress who has remained unnamed, very diplomatically, made a pass at you over breakfast at a convention. And Carl, the viewing public do not believe that you successfully bid on Rene Aubergenois' hat rack in an eBay auction. Which of you is the liar? What? You don't own Rene Aubergenois' hat rack?
No,
the problem was, it's the way that you won it, and you claim to have had it. If you said I won it, but I didn't realise that was what I'd won, so I couldn't get it shipped over. So I donated it to some Star Trek group in America. That might have sold it, But so you paid to have a hat rack shipped over from America. That wasn't falling in it.
I was going for the angle of people understand that I'm quite happy to pay for a daft piece of memorabilia if I want it.
That's when I threw you a bone as well. To thought, well, if it's a screw to the wall hat stand, not a freestanding one.
No, I was just trying to add to the authenticity. No, it's a full bloody blown article.
You can't do any other jump, just freestanding. FedEx over from America.
Hell yeah.
I guess that means then, Richard, that you won by successfully passing your truth.
Yes.
So next week you'll be hosting.
I'm Lie Master.
I didn't tell you, but
Nadeem, I thought you knew me.
So yes, next week I shall resume my position as Lie Master, unless anyone would like to come on and play the game. I mean, if you're watching,
because I've got to be honest, gents. Christmas Eve in my business, I'm not going to be able to join next week, I'm afraid. So you will need a substitute.
I think there's a good chance there won't be a Riker's Beard live next week, Christmas Eve.
Well, I shall be heading off to midnight mass at some point.
Where are you going this year? Church? No, the fucking synagogue.
Yeah, the Jewish faith, Richard, are not really known for their celebration of Christmas. I'll leave you to think about that.
I've not seen Mel Gibson's film. I wouldn't know.
Oh dear.
So,
well, there we go. So, anyway, we were talking about best and worst villains. Did we get a list of who the worst villains were?
Well, I think we went. I think I went with Carl.
I think the fish people.
The villain I enjoyed the most was Gold Cup, and the fish assassins from Next Generation's episode are my worst villains. And Carl, who's your worst villain?
Oh, crikey. My worst villain. Moopsy.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't agree with Mark and go for Control, actually, because you mentioned it. The look of hate that came across your face was like, oh,
yeah. Well, Control was just a really disappointing end to what could have been a good season.
Yeah. Okay. And James, and we decided with you that your favourite villain was
Madrid.
Do it again.
Gul Madred.
Gul Madred, that's right. And your worst villain was?
Am I allowed to say the Discovery scriptwriters?
No, it's got to be an actual villain that's appeared in TV or film, not comics or books.
All right, then I'll go with the Vorta because I just think they were sycophantic rubbish.
Oh, I love them. Oh, Wei Young was brilliant. I thought he was fantastic. And Iggy Pop. I thought they were great.
They weren't villains. They were just facilitators of villains.
They were conservative MPs. Basically, they were brilliant. How dare you, Alan? They were brilliant.
What? They had some of the greatest vessels in the known galaxy.
So we'd like to. So which of us are correct and which of us are wrong? I think, James, I think you've got this one wrong. I'm sorry. You've got Gul Madred right. Worse than Vorta, you got that wrong. Sorry, champ. Honourable mentions. Who was the really crap villain in Undiscovered Country? No, Final Frontier. The one that.
Well, a Cybok or the God type thing?
The God type thing. Or Cybok, take your pick.
We never really found out who the God type thing was. Just that he was been imprisoned there by someone else.
I don't think we really cared either, did we?
No.
No, he was a bit naff.
I'll tell you what, he did sound very much like your impression of Kenneth Williams, though, at certain points in the film.
A little bit. And also crossed with my impression of Captain Sisko. So that's an honourable mention. Honourable mention again for worst kind of villain. The tail thingies out the back of their necks.
Oh, the little pink.
The bugs in Conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. That, you know.
I tell you, it was a
rubbish evil were eating gach. You know.
Yeah.
Rubbish one. Yeah.
So it was a rubbish villain. Was the guy out of Gambit Parts 1 and 2 that ran the mercenary ship that just controlled everyone with the pain thing on his arm.
The really camp.
He was terrible, wasn't he?
He was so camp. I mean, I watched that again recently. And I thought to myself, is he deliberately trying to play it like a pantomime villain, or is this?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I really couldn't get it. Yeah, he was terrible. Yes, awful actor.
I remember him. He obviously made no impression on me. Yeah, well, there you have it. So next week we're saying best and worst captains, are we?
Best and worst captains. I think possibly this one we should leave Discovery out of it.
So we'll just take it Burnham's off the table, shall we?
I was going to say it might hog the limelight a bit.
Yeah, Burnham's off the table. So best and worst captains, but you're not allowed to include Michael Burnham because obviously the best captain category. Yeah, best and worst captain, but Burnham's off the table. So that's fair enough. Good. And what I'd like to do is recurring non-regular recurring character as well. Now, that's a difficult one because DS9 had some really good ones, but then so did Discovery, so did DS9, so did Voyager, so did TNG. There's some really good kind of cameo characters that come in and out, like Q. Q's like a recurring character. Counting that as well, so that'd be a good one. But for next week, we'll have the captains, not including Burnham.
Probably the week after.
Yes.
Because next week's Christmas Eve, isn't it?
Yeah, no one's going to want to watch this show on Christmas Eve. Yes, Alan, you can have a vote for Mr. Hom. He's a brilliant recurring character. Morn was a really good recurring character.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine the two of them in a bar together? It'd just be non-stop chittle, chattle, chip, wouldn't it?
So you wouldn't get a word in edgeways, would you?
Actually, I love DISCO. DISCO. Have you ever seen me dancing?
No, we haven't.
I've seen you try.
James and I did the rope at the Trekkie Girls' birthday party. Do you remember? Which Trek was Sam's birthday? We did the rope. James and I owned the dance.
Yeah, it was Saturday. It was at the Sarah's, wasn't it? Where we did the rope.
We might have done it at both. We do it well. We do it so well. The thing to behold.
Yes, so, there we go.
What are you going to make your Christmases, Trekkie guys? How are you going to involve Trekkie lives over the festive period?
Well,
I don't know. If I just get this and put it in anything I'm drinking, it becomes Romulan ale, yeah?
Okay, that works. Yeah, I like that. What is that?
Blue Carassa.
No, it is blue.
That's how I pronounce it. Carl, you're from the north. How do you pronounce it?
Blue Caraco.
Say again?
Blue Caraco.
Caraco.
Do it again. Something foreign.
Yeah. It loses something in the translation.
There's only a couple of things you can put in drinks to make them blue, and this is one of them.
That's one of them.
Can you hold that up again, James?
No, Carl, look. Hang on, there we are. There's a cedilla under the sea. Look, so that means it's Carassa. It's a soft.
It's Caraco.
I'm very curious, James. Could you hold the bottle up once more? Yeah. So on the picture on the front would suggest that it would be a lemon drink, and yet
orange flavour.
Orange, yeah. But it's blue. Has it
orange
gone
flavour?
out?
But the genius of the people who make this is they thought, aha, if we make it blue, people will all buy it so they can make their cocktails blue. So that was the clever marketing.
And ingenious it was too.
And to make my my Christmas Trekkie,
this is an orange colour, but it doesn't really taste very orangey.
No, even though it's supposed to.
yeah, so James is going to make his Christmas more Trekky by getting drunk. I'm going to, at some point, watch a Christmas film with James. We're going to watch Lethal Weapon this year. But to make it Christmassy is a bit of a tough one, because we know the Christmas offerings in the Trek world are slim pickings.
Few and
There's
far
really
between.
nothing, yeah, there's nothing you can really. There's not even a particular film you can say, oh yeah, that Trek film is what I like to watch at Christmas. There just aren't any, are there? It's slim pickings
I mean,
time of
there's
year.
No, it's odd that they've never chosen to. There's obviously a deliberate reason for it, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the only direct
Oh, I
Christmas
must tell you,
reference I
this
can
is
think of
funny.
is in Generations.
There's an episode where Voyager is hanging from a Christmas tree, isn't there?
Yeah.
The Q continuum, I think.
I was watching a terrible Christmas film on Amazon Prime earlier because I was busy making a model that Carl knows that the model I'm making. I won't trouble the rest of our viewership with it. But it was following the traditional Hallmark plot, which is very attractive lady meets very handsome man in an incredibly romantic Christmassy setting. They don't like each other to start with, but by the end of the film, obviously, it's all fireworks. Anyway, he takes her off on a skidoo, a snowmobile, and they started playing a piece of action music for the skidoo scene. And I immediately tuned into what this piece of music was because it didn't fit. For it was the theme from Galaxy Quest.
Excellent.
That was such a jarring, sudden piece of music. I couldn't quite believe it.
Have you seen that Wes Anderson film, The Budapest Hotel?
No.
The Hotel Budapest. Have you not seen? You've not seen Wes Anderson films? No.
No.
Oh, you got to watch the Grand Budapest Hotel. The
I know of
toboggan,
it. I haven't
the toboggan
seen it.
chase.
I have one of the Fines boys in it.
Yeah, yeah. He gets his chap out. And he he makes a career as a bit of a gigolo with older women. But there's a toboggan chase, which is the best cinematic toboggan chase I've ever seen in my life. It's worth watching the film just for that. It's amazing. So
what had me giggling when you say the best cinema moments? What had me giggling was that particular cinematic great moment you posted on Facebook not so long ago.
Yes.
Oh no! The other one.
My little buttercup has the sweetest smile.
Adam West hanging from a helicopter ladder.
Oh yeah. Followed by Adam West running around with that bomb. Like there's a load of nuns there.
I then went to look for that on. It's not on any of the streaming channels. I was so disappointed. I really wanted to watch it.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Would you like me to gift it to you in the medium of my server?
Oh, that would be amazing. It would make my day.
Welcome.
I've not seen that since I was a young whippersnapper.
Can you imagine the Christian Bale Batman running around with a gigantic bomb? With a fizzing fuse going, I can't get rid of this bomb. No, I can't get rid of this bomb.
Someone did comment on the post. I think it might have been Liam Dillon. I'm not sure, saying what we should reenact that at the convention with James with the Genesis device running around trying to get rid of it, but unable to. Nuns and stuff are getting in the way. I think that'd be quite good.
I could make a Genesis device by February.
No, well, yeah, well. At the end of the day, we're going to have to go to Blackpool, then, aren't we, James? Because they've got a pier.
It's just a transparent tube with some pink and blue lights in it. It's difficult.
We'll go to Blackpool Pier, and we'll shoot you running around in a Batman costume. Why not?
Look, we could just do that on green screen without having to go to the north.
Yes, I definitely have a green screen big enough to cover a pier. Or just technology, it'll be fine. So it's a
You got a
tricky one.
treadmill? That's what we need.
Trying to make your Christmas trekkie. I don't know if you guys saw the incredible Build the Enterprise D Advent calendar.
Oh yes, I did see that.
That looked quite amazing. I enjoyed that, and I believe Dan got a similar Eagle Moss one he did on the show a while ago. That came there was some tut that came out every week, like a bottle opener with a Star Trek logo on it. And
one, I think, that Dan had. What's Carl showing us apart from his crotch? What?
That's that's the particular thing you're referring to of Dan's.
Or the Advent calendar.
Advent calendar.
Was give it years.
That's the one. It's sat right here. I've not had a chance to open anything of it, so I'm going to save it for another year.
Nice to give someone a used Advent calendar as a present.
No, he didn't use it.
I'm going to do next year. I'm going to give my kids a used Advent light with all the chocolates already taken out.
Yeah, you can see where the chocolates used to be.
Yeah.
Look, I really struggled to find an Advent calendar that had pictures in it rather than bits of chocolate, to the point I gave up. We now just have a wooden one where we fill it up with chocolate and the kids rampage down in the morning and open it up. I like one with a picture of the baby Jesus in it.
I'm sure you had a gin Advent calendar, didn't you?
Yes, I do have a gin Advent calendar, but that's at work.
No. That's morning gin.
I have it with one of my colleagues, and the rule is if neither of us is there or one of us isn't there, we can't have it. So we have to save them up. Frankly, we're about 10 days behind now. So I think I'll give up.
That's going to be a good Christmas party.
That's the problem with morning gin. It starts stacking up.
Gin is so much more than just a breakfast drink.
No, I think it's the best. Well, people on Christmas Day, I do treat myself to a bit of bubbly in the morning. I'll do like a champagne breakfast. I have a champagne and orange juice, what they call it, Bucks Fizz, don't they? I have that with my breakfast in the morning on Christmas
I have a
Day.
Snowball. They're great.
Yeah.
The 70s rang and asked if I could send it back.
I'm not sure I've ever had. Do you have that before or after your baby sham?
I have the Snowball before the bacon sandwich, and then after the bacon sandwich, it's straight onto the mince pie martinis.
And then
you make those with mince pie syrup, which is something else.
And do you make the Snowball yourself, or do you buy the pre-made?
I go and get the pre-made one, which I find are available in Iceland.
Or Loblaws.
Loblaws frozen food, of course, yeah. Does he work here? No, I see Vicky saying she's not had a Snowball. No, don't go and get a bottle of Advocar, because you'll be stuck with that forever. You'll only use it. So you'll go to Iceland, buy the pre-made ones. They're like £4 for 4 of them.
Go to Loblaws frozen food and get you a Snowball.
What a shame we don't have the Loblaws frozen food commercial teed up.
Hey, right now, Loblaws is having a huge frozen food sale. You can get tremendous value on over 50 frozen food items, frozen vegetables, frozen meat entrees, frozen concentrated juices, ice cream. If it's frozen, you can save plenty. Don't get left out on the cold. Come on in and stock up that freezer. Loblaws frozen food sale. Another reason why more than the price is right. Does he work here?
It's a very dubious penguin, that, isn't it?
Low prices isn't the only way to save at Loblaws, because they found a way to make your cash register tapes worth money. For every $100 worth of these tapes, plus 1 penny, Loblaws will give you a $5 Save and Fly travel voucher. These are like $5 bills, and you can use them to save up to 50% on any regular scheduled CP Air flight. Save and Fly vouchers, because Loblaws is dedicated to saving your family money every way they possibly can.
I mean, they're basically like $5 bills, except you can't spend them.
Has anyone ever heard of, what was it, CP Air?
I've heard of their appalling safety record.
Let's have a look, see if they're still going. I'll have a look on Google.
Sorry, you both spoke at the same time. I didn't manage to get what either of you said. No, okay.
Oh, it's Canadian Pacific Airlines.
Ah,
that makes more sense.
That's who it is. What about Loblaws, though? Are they still going? I'll just Google that. Be an absolute travesty if they're not. It looks like they've gone online.
Delivery only.
An online
no more
frozen
stores.
food store. They deliver it by post. Frozen food works best through the post, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Just imagine Royal Mail. Here's your frozen meal. Sorry, it's dust because we took 6 months to deliver it.
We tried to deliver your food, but you weren't in. Please come to our local sorting office and collect. Your parcel will be available from the moment it's melted.
We briefly drove past your house, couldn't be bothered to stop and knock, but we did find time to put this card through your letterbox by sending a ninja to arrive just in case there was any chance you might answer the door. I saw an article the other day about there's this town somewhere in North America, the bit they call the United States, and there's a ninja convention every year, and all these people turn up, but they never see the ninjas. They go, "Look, I've come to this for 20 years in a row. I've never seen a single ninja."
But you've suddenly become very topical because I recently had a parcel delivered, and it was left with my neighbour because apparently I wasn't in. I work from home, by the way. I was here, and I was very surprised on the box. I was not expecting to see this on the box. This is what I had delivered. Shark
Ninja.
My cartoon brain's going overtime.
Can anyone guess what I've ordered? And no, I have not started my new sword fighting classes yet.
Is it some sort of cooking implement?
Because I'm imagining like a shark with a mask on. Is that, kind of like a mutant turtle, but a shark. Do you know what I mean? A shark mutant turtle. I don't know. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting when I open that one.
I was going to propose actually that we. Do you remember on our other podcast we did a wish challenge?
Yes,
some years ago.
Oof.
And we had a budget to spend like 10 quid to send each other a gift. Should we do that again?
We could do it for next year.
I mean, it won't arrive before Christmas. I appreciate that, but it could be a bit of fun for New Year.
If we order it now, it might arrive by Christmas next year.
Yeah, I was going to say if we get ahead of the.
There's a new wish, though, isn't there? There's Temu, I think.
Temu. Yeah, let's do a Temu challenge.
Tumultuous Temu challenge.
Is Temu safe? I mean, do they take PayPal or something so you don't give them any bank details? They don't rape your bank account.
I doubt it. I'd just use your card, James. I wouldn't use mine.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Yeah. There.
Yeah.
Right.
But should we do that sort of, £10 budget maximum? We'll buy each other a gift.
Okay. Who's going to buy
we
who
have to deliver to each other? I don't know. Does Temu let you do that? Send it as a gift?
Should we all go to the left or to the right? We'll go to the left. So I'm going to buy Carl a present. Carl is going to buy James a present.
Yes.
And James is going to buy me a present from Temu.
Easy peasy, right?
Yeah.
You'll need to ping me your address, Carl. I've probably got it somewhere there.
The pub in North.
You mean Tut Pub, don't you?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, the North.
Well, we're nearing the end of our time of our show. I've thoroughly enjoyed it this evening. I have to admit, I was absolutely knackered, and we didn't, because it's been so busy, we had no time to hardly prepare anything. So it's been fantastic just to sit here and paddle with you guys and share your company and enjoy the company of our beloved viewers. Next week or next time, Would I Lie to You? We'll be back. Temu Update will be appearing. And special guest star Steve Gutenberg.
Ooh.
So it's going to be.
I really must start doing some Christmas shopping, hadn't I? Cool. So does anyone want one of these, limited edition RikerCon 2022 pencils? It's got rubber on the end. Look.
Ooh.
But for now, everyone, wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes. Why not?
So look after you. Oh, hang on a minute. Is this going to continue? Only if you're very lucky, Alan.
Probably.
Yes, we will do as often as we can. It's not going to be as regular as Let's Talk Trek, but we are as often as we can. So yeah, do look after yourselves, look after each other, and I mean that sincerely at this time of year. This is the time of year where you need to be checking on people who perhaps, didn't buy you a present last year. So take care and look after yourselves and each other.
Twiddle pip.
Tatty bye.